everybody, welcome back to my studio. I'm Nettie Kaye. Tonight is our third night on the big huge still life painting project that we started, and thank you guys for watching. Tonight we're going to be doing the flowers and hopefully kind of finishing it up a little bit, and then I'll mess around with it for who knows how much longer when you're not looking, and finish it and sign it and do all that stuff and put it up in my little gallery. So let's get going. All right, what have we got so far? Well, we have our vase. I've got this nice and dark going into the recesses of the dark side of the painting. We've got our fabric. I've got this ginger pot, which is really I painted it in a light blue. Let's see if I can get any design on there tonight. We'll see. And then we have the two lemons. I've decided just to leave the two lemons on for now and not add a third one. And now we're going to put in some flowers up onto our background. I'm hoping that it'll be a nice, good contrast. And so what I'm going to do to start with, I'm going to take a pretty good sized brush. I'm going to get into some cobalt teal. Now this is that kind of light color teal, not turquoise, but it's a lighter color. I just ordered like a whole big huge can of it for my next painting projects because I love that color so much. I decorate it in my house too. Yes, I do. All right. So now I'm going to take my teal and I'm going to add a little bit of quinacridone violet to it. And this is going to give it kind of a darker, dark middle tone. And we're going to create a place for the flowers. Good Lord, I hope this works. Here we go. Okay, above the jar, I'm going to come up about a couple of inches, and I'm going to just create a little bit of a darker area. I know this is a little bit hard to see. I've got my light coming from over here, so I'm trying to figure out how this all comes together. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of white to this gray, so it's kind of a grayish blue purple. And I want to start with a little bit of a middle tone rather than white, because what happens if I lay down the white? Well, there's nowhere to go. I want to be able to put white or a lighter color on top of this gray. And so I'm going to kind of work my flowers out. You know, I'm going to put this flower up here, and instead of painting it green, I'm going to be doing it in our white as well. So I'll start out with this, and I'm going to make it nice and big. And let's just see if I can get a little bit more. Let's see. I've got this flower. This is that flower that's right above there, and I have another one going this way. I'm not painting a bunch of little petals right now. I'm just massing it in. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. It's not a fussy project. I'm just doing this because I want to make it nice and loose. I think I got a little too much turquoise. Turquoise is drying up. I'm so excited when my new can comes in. Ooh, then it'll be nice and fresh. It'll be great. So that teal mixed with that quinacridone violet and a little bit of white is a lovely combination of colors that makes a neutral. It's not a gray. I don't want a lot of gray, but I want to have a middle tone. Okay, middle tone to work from. All right, here we go. I'm going to stretch this one out a little bit. I've got another one that kind of connects up right here. Got a little more medium on here, and it's a little bit darker on this side of the flower. And then I'll put in a little bit going this way. So I'm kind of creating this kind of a spray of flowers in that direction. Good. Sometimes I get a little more turquoise on there than others. I like having a variety of color on there, so we're going to just push those around. Ooh, that's nice. And then I'm also going to be doing some a little bit of a, you know, swooshy flowers over here. So I'm going to put in, let's see, we've got that one here. This is going to come out like that, and then I'm going to take some smaller ones that are going to be just a couple of little doodads, it's a little thing that kind of comes out like this. So we'll put in a little green stem on there, and then I'll put in just a few blossoms. I want to knock that back into the purple. I hope I'm still on screen. Yes, I am. Okay, good. Like that. And then we'll do some up in here. So I've got this flower here. I've got a few of those little tiny ones that are kind of coming up, little itty bitty blossoms that will come up above those and down into the jar like that. And good. All right, let's see what else. I want to go a little bit darker as these go up above, and then I'll just put in a few more going up that way. It'll go right off the top of the canvas. That's okay. Some people that really bothers when you do that. I think what else I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of these flowers. I don't really have them here, but I'm going to put in a little bit more right like that. And we'll just add a little bit of white to that too. That looks nice. I like it. Okay, that really comes way over here, so I'm going to add a few more of the little flower petals over there. This is getting a little bit unstable. Let's get this over. I can't quite reach it. There we go. You can still see that. Okay, so now I've got this lovely turquoise or teal with white with a little bit of quinacridone violet right there, making these little fun things. And you know, I could even cross that in front of that. Oh yeah, that would work. Well, we'll just play around with that a little bit. All right, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put in some stems. So I'm going to get into my medium and some sap green on one side of my brush and a little bit of yellow on the other. And then I'm going to take this, let's see, that one kind of comes up. This one comes up like this. I'm going to go up through here, flipped it over there, and then we're going to add that one. There's some little buds on the end, like that. There's one, and then I have this one up here. And I'm going to put that up here like this. Put that kind of coming up and over, jumping over that mass of flowers there. Then I'll bring it down into the jar. It's already in there, but a little stem, and I'll darken it on that side. All right, we're getting there. And then I want to put this one right there. And we'll just add that to it. And meanwhile, I want that to show up a little bit, so I'm going to add some quinacridone violet to my green. It's just a complementary color. I'm going to throw that in to darken it a little bit and give it a little bit of a stem like that. And then let's see what we've got going here. I'm going to pull that. This one has, the flower goes this way, so I'm going to just grab some yellow and green. Put that down into the jar. Lots of flowers in the jar. And I'm also going to be putting in some leaves in here, so it's not just the stem sticking up. Let's try this one. All right, let's double check. Okay, here we go. Here's the stem. It makes it kind of fun when you put the dark green on one side, the light yellow on the other side of your brush, and then aim that yellow up like that. And there's two stems, so I'm going to have that one kind of coming down like that. That looks a little bit silly. Okay, we'll cross this one over like this. That one didn't quite, get the jar. Okay, just a sec. We'll get that one into the jar there. Might have to make my jar neck just a little bit wider. Let's do that. I'm going to grab a little of that teal, and I'm going to make this jar neck just a little bit wider. There. When you need a bigger neck, you just make one. Pull it around like that. There. All right, now I've got kind of the placement of all those flowers on just the way I like it. And now I'm going to come in with something a little bit brighter. And I'm going to get my mess cleaned up here. I'm going to go in with now some white with just a tiny touch of yellow. I want to make it nice and kind of a warm light. And I'm going to come in and shoot for the petals up here a little bit and begin just bringing in some nice warm color, and then I'll catch it here, and then I'll get into a little more of the bluish color. These are kind of chrysanthemums is what I'm dealing with right here. And then I'll pull in some of these. I'm just looking for the light right now, everybody. And where it is. There we go. There's some. Looking at my image here. Not my image, and then I'm realizing that these guys up here catching a little bit of light, but they're a little bit into the dark as well. So I have to watch out. There's a little light on this side. This is very stiff white. I've got to get this going here. So I've got some light that is just kind of picking up a little bit there and some here. I'm going to leave some in the dark over here a little bit so that I don't have just light everywhere. I want to have the light and the dark. I'm not really a floral painter. I'm going to just lay that out. I do paint portraits of flowers, like really big ones, which I enjoy, and that means I paint them one or two blossoms and blow them up and paint them really, really big, and that's a lot of fun for me. But it's really a portrait of a flower rather than big bushes of flowers. You know, it's just a different way of thinking about it. Portraits, flower portraits. I have a few of them still left in my collection. Okay, now this is really going to be light right here. So I'm going to just pull in some stems. Or not some stems, some petals. It's getting obviously late tonight. And then I'll just keep going over here like this. Okay. And I'm going to extend out the petals like this. A little bit further than where my little blob started out. Okay, let's see. I've got a little bit here, a little bit there. It's kind of what we call impressionistic or messy. Okay, let me just try one more, a little light there, a little light there. And I'll play around with this a little bit more when you're not looking. I know that bugs some of you guys, but just kind of what we have to do in order to focus. I'm way off the side of this. I'm not directly in front, so it makes it much, much more difficult to get things to look right when you are way off onto the side. No excuses, I know. Okay, so here's our little flowers. I'm going to pull a few like that. That looks kind of nice. I like it. And then we need some leaves. We just need some leaves. I'm going to wipe off my brush, and I'm going into that sap green, and I'm going to add a little bit of the some quinacridone violet to the sap green, and I'm going to put in some leaves that come in up here like this. And we're going to just make sure I've got lots of medium on there so it covers it. That sets that off nicely because I've tucked that underneath the flower, and then there's a few little interesting leaves that kind of come down like that, and one in particular that goes over the top of the jar, right like this. So I'm going to just pull that like that, and I'm going to color that and color it in. I'm going to fill that in, and then I'm going to take some white with the green, and we'll just, I think I need a little bit more white. Yep, one more white. And that'll bring that over the top there. And maybe another one that just kind of flows over the top like this. I'm not seeing them very well, so I'm needing to really work on those at some point. Let's get this nice and dark back in here. Need contrast. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, that looks a little bit goofy, but I'm going to also wipe off my brush. I think I've got one more white blossom that can go right in here. And that will make it look even better. We just cover up those silly leaves. There. Okay, now I do want to do one more little thing. We're going to take some of that, let's see, some of that light lavender, and I'm going to come over here and kind of work this a little bit on this little jar, on the light side of the jar, and then I'm going to just kind of create a sense of the design on this. Pull that around like that. And there's a little bit over here. And then I don't need to get into all the little teeny tiny little details, especially with my eyes these days. I was going to get some new glasses. I was all excited about getting new glasses, and then the radiator went out on the car right as I was getting ready to go get some new glasses. So, about $600 later, that's what it costs up here. So that was kind of a bummer. Okay, now I'm just going to put in a little bit of the little pagoda, just kind of a indication of what is on here. This is, I hope I don't mess this up too badly. And we'll just kind of put in just there's a little roof there, and it kind of goes up like this, and then a little pagoda thing that goes out like that. And some little doors. I'm just doing indication. I'm not, getting out a little tiny itty bitty 2-hair brush. And I'm just going to do a couple of lines. There's a triple pagoda down here, so I'll drop it down just a little bit. Like that. That's fun. See, it doesn't need a lot. I just put a couple of marks on there. I gotta look at this. What is that? Oh, it's a little plant, it looks like. Tiny little, like a tree. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Paint what you see sometime, If you don't see it, don't paint it. Even if it's there. And this one kind of comes like that. That's kind of nice. And then at the top, there's a little bit of a design that kind of is barely there. And I have a little thing that goes like that. All right. This is in the ultramarine blue. And I'm just putting a couple of marks on here, not any particular design, because I can't see it. Okay, I can't see it, so if I can't see it, what's the point? Okay, here's a little mark I can sort of see there. Ooh, I do like that. Don't you? Yes. Okay. Now, I want to also put in a nice light, super light highlight right here. There. And then one right about there. And one on the back again. I think I did place this at one point and then I lost it. So, you know, you paint over it enough times, you lose it a couple of times and have to restate things. That's all right. There we go. I really like that jar. Okay, now I'm going to come back up on this side. I'll pull this over just a little bit more. Now I'm going to come up over here and we're going to find where the highlight goes on there. Need that a little bit. The paint is still kind of tacky right now, so it makes it a little bit challenging to paint on. There's that, and I'm kind of making this kind of glow a little bit like this. And then I want some straight, almost straight white. Let's try it. Right dead center. There we go. Put a little bit of medium on there so it'll spread out just a tiny bit. And then it gets a little bit darker as it goes out into space, so it has a bit of a glow to it. Push that around just a little bit, but it's not a big line it's not a big line of white. It's just like a cloud with a sun in the middle of it. All right, I think that is about what I am going to do for this painting. And we're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be the deer painting next time. Hope you guys are getting a good start to your year. All right, everybody, that's all I'm going to do on this painting demonstration. What? Yes, that was really fast tonight, wasn't it? But we're going to let this painting dry. I'll probably put it on some stretcher bars, and I might even frame it. Who knows? I'll show it to you, hopefully, in an upcoming lesson in the future. I hope you learned something, and I do hope it will inspire you to get your paints out and try it for yourself. Maybe something a little less complicated than this. Yes. All right. We'll see you guys again next time when we're going to be painting Sugar the Deer. Don't forget. All right. Bye-bye for now.